Should be do with the building.
I like to be the
Shoot, me
one that
too.
when the whole world is falling on you,
Mm.
I want to be the one you could turn to.
I'd like to be the one on a cold winter's night.
Come on through the one.
Come on.
Miss Day left again.
She left us.
Nah, I'm just messing with her because she been messing with me for forever.
Shoot, me too.
Might be gone.
I'm trying to get myself together.
The last week, she was like, I gotta go to the bathroom.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. It is Gentlemen After Dark Wednesday. We already got folks up in the building. Good evening to you, Adrian Jennings, but we call him Sir. What up with you, man? How you feeling? Thank you for being here. My brother V-Rod Busy's in the building. Says, good evening, peeps. What up, Busy? Thank you for being here, bro. Them gentlemen they know how to be on time. Shouts out to my LA gentlemen. Thank y'all for being here, representing like y'all always do, and I appreciate you. And for the record, I do not own the rights to this here music. I'm just playing it because I like music. You know, never do you wrong. We're going to give it a few minutes, give folks a chance to get up in here this evening. We got a hot topic to discuss. Family secrets. All the way from the YouTube world is Dana, Soul Body Mind Detox. Dana! Welcome back, ma'am. Good to see you. Happy to see you. Thank you for being here. Shoot, be do. You all right over there, Miss Day? You working it out?
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
trying.
cool. See the Dev, the dude got the endo smoke over there.
Nah, that hold on.
Or is that's just an incense burning?
You put me on.
You ain't got to change on my behalf. All the way from Memphis, Tennessee, I see it's Miss Tamara. Good evening to you, ma'am. Can we get you on Gentlemen After Dark and do that little TikTok dance and stuff that you was doing?
Oh man, look here, man. Hey,
Can we get you on so I can see the TikTok on the show? Because you cheated us. You know, I just want you to know that for the record. You know, you had on the dolphin shorts and we could only see.
What? I ain't gonna say nothing because this is grown folks now. It's grown folk situation. So let me stay at grown folks here and just I ain't gonna say nothing else. Go ahead, bro.
All the way from the YouTube world, Lolo's in the building. Good evening to you, Lolo. Thank you for being here. We got Miss Bertina Garrett in the building. Thank you, ma'am. Blessings always to you and your family. Thank you for sharing. Oh, she said, no. Oh, don't be afraid. Don't be scared. Come on. Get
Don't
mine.
laugh,
I'm
'cause it
gonna
ain't
get yours. Fuego, where'd you go, Fuego? You popped in and popped right on out.
She pulled a Miss 3 on us. I mean,
Miss.
You better not say it.
There ain't no popping in and popping out. It stays.
Somebody did it last week. I just can't remember who done it.
Oh, it was me. It was me. No need to think that over. It was me.
Shoot, we do.
But
That's what we doing.
I'll kick your butt.
We'll talk about that in the debriefing. I'm taking note of all this. That's why.
Shoot, we do.
Okay, with your background for your website.
There we go.
Hey, Fuego.
Fuego's in the building. So good evening, everybody. Good evening. Jackie, I see you. Jacqueline Steele is in the building. It has been a while. Thank you for coming back. Happy New Year's to everybody. If I didn't see you last week for episode number 1 of season number 8, or is that 8 or 6 and 2? 8. Thank y'all for being here and Hep 6 and 2. Carry the 1 minus 1. Really? That's what we doing? That's what we doing.
My scratch paper.
That's what we doing. I'm gonna play musical people here for a hot second. I'm just lining us up. So yep, that works out just fine. Right there. All right. So good evening. We got everybody here present. PK, I see you. Sean, I see you as well. That's what's up. Thank y'all for being here, man. We ain't gonna waste a whole lot of time. I am gonna go ahead and get us started with introducing those grown folk now, who I'm always grateful and appreciative of having here with us. We're gonna go ahead and start with our ladies. So let's go ahead and start. Welcome her. She's here, y'all. She was early tonight. No ifs, ands, no buts about it. On time. It's my sandbox friend, Miss Day's in the building.
Hello, 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 hello.
Hello, hello.
She's here from the south side of Arizona, always repping real hard, right? Went to Vegas, didn't even tell nobody. Shoot, be due, but I ain't gonna be. Didn't you go to Vegas for somebody's birthday, or was that somewhere? Who was that? No?
Don't tell your business, Fuego. Don't tell your
No,
Just
I
recently.
didn't. I haven't been anywhere.
She got that look on her face like,
Okay, where was
We
y'all
like,
at? Having
We
some
got
birthday
shit
no,
drinks.
out.
wasn't me.
Right,
Wasn't
shoot,
me.
be due.
You got the wrong Fuego.
I know. Oh, it's only one Fuego. Fuego, fire. Fire's in the building, y'all. She
Hi,
was
guys.
gonna prompt her. She was here early. Got her hair down, braided up, got her hearts in the background. She went straight from Christmas to Valentine's all in one whop. It's Miss 3. You know, he's are you high yet? He got the endo smoke passing through his background. Right. It's the dude, Devin.
I got 5 on it. Messing
Hey.
with that. I got 5
Oh my
on
God.
it.
In an undisclosed part of I don't even know what city he might be in. He might be at I see some orange. In an undisclosed part of the parking lot, it's my little big brother Snoopy Cliff Mello.
Hey.
Last but not least, it's me. It's your boy Onyx. So I know we got a good conversation in store for us tonight. But before we even get to that, can we just talk about this egg situation that we got going on? Eggs.
Huh?
you hungry?
What situation?
I mean, I
That's
can eat
what I
too.
said.
Right.
That's what I
You
asked
talking
somebody.
about the
else.
price
Omelet?
of eggs?
Oh, the prices of eggs. You muted.
Are you talking about omelets?
You're
Hard
muted.
The
boiled.
price of eggs is high. What's going on?
Everything high.
Yeah, what's going on with the price of eggs, man? I went to the store today and seen what is that? The carton, not the dozen, but what is that?
The
24?
18 count.
It said $15.99.
Oh,
What?
hell no. You better drive
the
out
chi-
to the
You
farm.
better go buy you a chicken, about 3 birds.
Right. Are the chickens on strike?
Buy what?
$15.99. They talking something about
Nah, the
the
chickens must be on strike or something.
bird flu or something.
They sick
And
of them.
I'm
The
like,
bird flu.
yeah, something about the
I
bird
heard
flu.
about
Something
that.
is
Yeah,
going
I
on.
heard that
They
too.
just making
Indian
shit up.
food. Yeah.
They
Yeah.
just making
Right.
shit up.
You
Yeah,
you
they've
go
been
look.
They've been
Go-
high
go.
for a minute here.
I
I
don't
seen.
eat eggs, so I don't know.
Hey man, nothing like a good, 2 eggs, 2 pancakes, or maybe even a 3-egg omelet. That sounds good to me too, but not at these prices. That means that
Nah.
everybody about to go up again.
No, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Just add a lot of milk. Expand it.
They're gonna be having people at the register going, "How much is it just for one egg? Can I
Good
get
Lord.
one egg?"
Right. Good Lord, that's a lot of money.
No, they're gonna be slinging them on the corners, 3 for $5, 3 for $5.
Right.
You
Man.
got
Slanging
egg
them.
white,
Hot
egg
for
white,
the chip
like,
hatch.
you got egg
They're gonna
white,
drop
egg.
they're gonna drop them eggs in a baggie. One, that's a nickel. That's a dub right there for 2 of them. You need two of them.
Oh, you need
Yeah.
2 of them? Oh, he said he wants 2 of them.
Run me. You need 2. But everything is gonna go up because
Accept my paycheck.
Yeah, that part.
Hey.
Say
Right.
that.
I won't
if
even.
you're baking
can't
goodies,
accept that
a nice
Oh, my
cake is gonna
baking
take
days
some
is over.
eggs, right? You're gonna need some eggs, so they're gonna start charging us an arm and a leg for the sweets and all of that stuff.
I'm about to charge y'all for my cakes now. They
What?
was free.
Careful.
They
Careful.
were free.
Careful.
Well, hopefully they're down before
Not-
Easter. Everybody's
oh
gonna
my
see
God.
some
Oh
eggs.
my
Oh,
God.
hopefully you get that test done.
I was
Right, Miss Day?
folks.
You know,
Hopefully you get that test done.
You'll pay about it if you don't.
Okay, get that test done.
3, you can't give away your cakes.
oh Lord. Oh
Don't give
Lord.
away your cakes,
Shit, I
3.
ain't to work last week.
I don't even have no cakes. Let it be known.
Oh man, you know what?
3, I'm gonna have to be your manager. We can't be giving away no cakes.
I don't give nothing away, but this cake price about to go up.
Hey,
I'm about to charge like $25 for a cake.
I'm with you, Sean. Sean said, right. Me too. My neighbors have had chickens for years. I see it walking down the street, gonna snatch him up.
Hey,
Right around the corner from me, there's a whole little flock of chicks.
man,
I'm going to go get me a couple of them, and I'm gonna show them a picture of some fried chicken and let them know you either working or you getting ate. Which one you doing?
Wow.
You
Ass,
gonna eat
ass,
some
or
chicken?
gas.
Hey,
Nobody ride
you
for
gonna
free.
eat some chicken or y'all gonna make some eggs? Which one you gonna
How
do?
you want to do it? You can stick around for a while. Just do what's the product.
One of my
Hey.
friends around the neighborhood, a few streets over, she's had chickens for years, and I told her, "You the kingpin of the neighborhood now."
Come on, man.
Right.
That part.
Man.
That part.
I'm
Yeah.
about to drive out to
That's
the
too
farm. I'm about to take a little hour drive and go
So-
directly to the farm.
Again, man, I'm glad that you guys are here. You know, I'm glad that we can start tonight with a little little laughter, just a smidget. Tonight's subject is family secrets. Family secrets. I did inform the grown folk now in advance that we were going to be talking about this subject. I didn't want nobody to be blindsided, if you will. Please allow me to give this disclosure. None of us are psychiatrists, psychologists, nor are we gynecologists, right? Still sticking to that. However, we are here to talk with grown folks. Gentlemen After Dark is a place where grown folks can talk without judgment. Tonight, we're not asking of you or the panel to disclose any family secrets that you feel that you don't want to disclose. If you don't want to, that's your personal choice. You don't have to. But if you find yourself wanting to share some scenarios, some examples, something that you know about, please, by all means, do so. There's no judgment here. I want to start tonight with this. I think I can read it in the dark. And it says, with all family secrets, there is some level of destruction. With all family secrets, there is some level of destruction. Well, Onyx, why do you want to talk about family secrets in the first place? Well, here comes Miss Day. She's coming back. Welcome back.
She went to check her chickens.
Again.
Checking on chickens and roosters. Checking on chickens and roosters.
Now look, now it's chickens and roosters.
So Miss Day missed it, so I'll just read it one more again. With all family secrets, there is some level of destruction. Something to think about. Why did I want to talk about it? I think that family secrets is something that all of us have been faced with in one capacity or another. Whether you are the secret, whether you know the secret, whether you've been the secret, we all have experienced one facet of the family secret or not. So I have a couple of questions, a few, audience, you as well. Feel free to chime in. Please, again, this is not about you personally, but if you choose to share, so be it. If not, still participate in the capacity of what you are knowledgeable of. So let's start off with should family secrets be shared? Should they be shared?
Well, then they're not a secret.
That part.
I took it.
My brother. Hold on. Let me just pull him up closer because I don't want this to miss him at all. Let me just pull him up closer because
He didn't wait.
It's not a secret. You know how to keep a secret.
Hey,
you know.
Keep it to
with
your
you,
My
damn
little
self.
big brother.
I'm with you.
Man.
I'm with you on
You
this.
share it. It's not a secret.
What they say, 5 people keep a secret, the 4 of them dead. So I don't think
Right. Exactly.
I
Oh,
wasn't
my
going to
Hey,
that
not
direct.
according to Ti.
Well, I'm you know what
God.
what I was thinking when you said that was, should it be shared with other members of the family?
Within the family.
Yeah, like within the family, not the whole family. Oh yeah, the family unit. Come on, y'all gather around. I ain't talking about this. I'm talking about like something's going on within the, in people have a different mentality of the immediate family. So I'll just say the grandparents, the parents, and the children. So that's 3 generations. If something is going on, I think that it should be shared with the family members that can handle it, and if they're old enough to have those type of conversations. I mean, it may be a relative has a terminal illness or just something else that's going on with the family that is like, because you don't want that person to grow up and be like, why everybody acting so different when this person comes around, or why is this why when this conversation comes up, everybody acts so weird. So I think it's all about tact. I think it's the person is old enough and they can handle the information. I think it should be. I don't think it should be hidden, because then if something does happen, it's like, why y'all didn't tell me? Now you got another whole you got a whole set of problems after that. That's my opinion.
I think it just varies on the secret, the dynamics of the family, and all that. So I think it varies a lot.
Okay. Sean says, yes, they should, especially if it's something that can and will hurt others. I'm a victim of secrets on my father's side. And once I revealed this traumatic experience, I found out a lot. Jay Jocelyn, birthday girl, is back. Jay Jocelyn says, question: if your sibling has a mental health issue, do you tell their soon to be spouse? So we're going to put a star on Jay Jocelyn really quick. Let's go back to Sean. And let's talk about that, because the grown folk, them, they just really politically correct and nice. But we do, but we do know, no, but we do know that there are those family secrets that result into, like you said, hurt and pain.
In regards to the Jay Jocelyn, that should you tell the spouse? Was that her or was that Sean?
Yeah. No, that was Jay.
I think that's a very dangerous slope in this regard, because I feel you should have that conversation with your brother first. I'm assuming that's the brother. She said, did she say brother?
She said sibling.
Sibling.
Okay, the sibling first, because it's up to them to let that person know. Now, after that, then you're gonna have to make a decision, and how you gonna, if you're gonna tell the soon to be would be spouse, especially if it could, that sibling could harm them. But I think it's not your story to tell. It's the siblings. But it also depends on, like I said, that if it's life or death, then I'm gonna have to warn you. But I'll give my sibling the opportunity first.
Okay. So, piggybacking back towards Sean's, and this doesn't have anything to do with her directly, but the reason why I even came up with this topic is because I seen this TikTok video. I think that was TikTok or Instagram. Yeah, TikTok. It was a couple, guy and a girl, and they were given their scenario. They've been together X amount of years. They've been married X amount of years. They got a couple of kids together. Long story short, they did all of this to find out that they were brother and sister.
Oh, I saw that. I saw
They were
that.
brother and sister. Now I don't know if this is for real, or if this is just some TikTok stuff to get some attention. But what if? What if? Who? How did we not know that we were brothers and sisters before we even got to this level of intimacy, if you will?
I think that happens a lot.
Yeah.
I think that happens a lot.
Hmm. Hmm.
Especially
Probably
if the person is trying to keep it a secret, that's how. And
Right.
say, for instance, if the let's just put it on the man. If the man never took care of that kid, and they're in the vicinity of where your living kids
Yeah.
possibly grew up, and they never acknowledged it, or maybe the parent of the mother never told the dad that she was pregnant. It's a
Like
lot of it's a lot of questions that could, that I have context. I need more context, but
right,
that's how that could happen that I would see.
right.
Yeah.
Candace, all the way from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That's my sister. She said that's why my family always told us bring our dates home. Shoot, beat do.
hey,
But
mom,
like I said, if the
what's the
dad
last
never knew, if the
people?
Yeah.
dad never knew that he had a kid, I could bring Dana to my house. But if my dad never knew that Dana's mom gave birth to Dana, how would we know?
Right.
Yeah. That. Yeah. In my ex-husband's family, it was just a running joke all the time about check who the dad was one who just liked to spread his seed around, and there were kids all around in their area still that they'd run into and find out, oh, that's a sibling. So that it was a running joke of you better check because you never know. So that's
And what's even more scary is, some of us are fascinated with trying to figure out who's in our family, who's not in our family. Hold on, Jay. Who's in our family, who's not? So we go to those websites where you find out your whole
right.
genealogy and the whole 9 yards, and you finding out that wait, what? Three is my Miss Day is my what? Oh, what happened?
Yeah,
Sorry, Fuego. Had
you're
you all
good.
blinded up. There we go.
I
Had to
had
put you down.
one of my neighbor's daughters took that DNA and found out that he was not her biological father. He's about 85 or whatever now. She just the mother's already passed on, and she just chose not to even tell him. She said, "I'm not going to break his heart."
Mm,
But she went on to find look for her father and found like a sister or something that she connected with. But yeah,
that's crazy.
yeah.
Let's welcome Miss J. Jocelyn back to the show, you guys.
Hi, everybody.
Good morning.
Ooh, this my subject.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Okay, here we go.
Uh-oh.
Let's go. Shoot,
Somebody
big
gonna
I,
tell
dude.
it by the river.
as many of you know, I work with the Department of Children and Family Services. I currently have 4 cases of incest.
Oh, shoot.
2 were family secrets. There are 6 children in one family. All have physical issues. All have developmentally delayed, and it's very common. We see it all the time. And I think that it's something that should be discussed. The person who said bring your family members around, I think it's important. And talking about other things like trauma, like if you've been molested, if whether or not your family believes you, if you know that happened, I think bringing it to light, it is important. I can't tell you, I see about maybe 70% of my cases a year are incest.
Wow,
Mm,
70%.
wow.
Yes. And you don't know, and then it's cultural, because in some cultures, you don't know who you're marrying, you don't know who you're dating. My 23-year-old cousin was telling us about the girl he was dating, and he brought her around and it ended up being our cousin, like our second cousin, but it was still our cousin. And I was like, yeah, no, I can't date her. And he was devastated. And I don't even want to know what they did. But, you know, I think it's important. And I think in minority communities, because I work with a lot of, you know, I work with Hispanics, African Americans, predominantly. And I just think it's so taboo and something that we don't talk about. And it is very, very, very common. And it's scary.
Wow.
I worked with a guy years ago from Spain. He said he grew up in whatever hills they have in Spain, and the villages, they all married each other. He married his cousin, and he showed me pictures of his kids. Oh my lord, they look like little elves. They did. I was like, that's not right. But that's the culture. They grew whatever's going on up there. They've been doing it for years, centuries, or whatever. And but that ain't no family secret. I mean, it's out in the open.
Right.
But yeah, they don't look right.
That's where keep
So
it in the family comes from. That phrase, keeping it in the family. When people had land, they want they wanted to make sure that the land stayed within the family. So they would marry within the family to keep it in the family, keep the land, the wealth within the family. And I'm not gonna say any particular people because different people did the
Yeah,
exact same thing because it's like this is the only way we can keep this property, this land, if we keep it in the family. If you and him get married, well, that means the family is going to keep this land. But if she marries this guy over here and he can hold stake to that land because he's the husband and he can't, I mean, she can't make a move without him, how we going to do that? Okay, well, if two people get married or whatever from the same bloodline, then if somebody try to take land from the other person, if it's a divorce, it's not going anywhere. It's still in the same, it's still within the same bloodline.
yeah.
Adrian says royals used to do that
Hmm.
basically since ancient times. Absolutely, absolutely.
Keep their bloodline.
Especially keep the bloodline going.
Yeah.
Big
Yeah.
time, big time. That's I'm gonna go back a little bit. My brother all the way from Memphis says I'm a victim of someone else's family secret that ended up me being responsible for the consequences of that act for life. And once I found out, it was too late for me to turn my back on the individual. To this day, only a few people know. But if it did come out, it would devastate the person definitely. Man, thank you guys for those of us who have shared some of their secrets, man. You know, it's something to think about. It really is. Um, you know, it can be worst case scenario with molestation right within the family structure. I mean, we just heard it 70%,
Woo.
70%. Like I'm stuck. Like 70%? That's incest. That's deep. Candace, got you.
That's
Man,
great.
3 is on it tonight. Thank you, ma'am. I love this.
Producer,
Teamwork.
producer three.
Shooby do.
Can you go back to my
Candace says,
question?
go ahead.
Because I want to know people's thoughts on
Okay.
mental health.
Okay.
Just because I'm working on something and I have a person who is clinically diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and they have not disclosed it to their spouse, their soon-to-be spouse, and they are in the process of, after they get married, they want to try to have a child. And my friend approached me about it, and I'm really stumped because I don't know if I see all aspects of it, and because I work in the field that I do, you know, I would always encourage the person to disclose, but then she's afraid of her relationship with her sister being ruined. She's afraid of the guy calling off the marriage. She's afraid of potentially damaging her family relationships. And so it's just a thought, because you guys, I don't know any of you guys personally other than but just you guys' thoughts on, like, because it is a secret, and she's engaged and should be getting married at the end of the summer. So what do you do? Like, she's like, I want to tell him. And she takes meds for it. So she's med compliant, but the day she stops or she feels comfortable, which is what happens to a lot of mental health patients, what if she goes off? What if she has a panic attack? What if so she's worried about what that'll look like for him and him not knowing and being possibly angry at her parents and her for never telling him that she's clinically diagnosed. So just wanted to know you guys' thoughts.
Like I said, my question was, has she had that conversation with her sister on that she should tell?
Yes. And her sister feels that if she tells him, he won't want to marry her.
And I don't know the conversation they've had, obviously, but I would try to have my sister see, okay, what happens when you don't take your medicine and you do something irrational? How do you think that's gonna then make him feel?
Yeah.
That's
I know
you.
I would be
Well, we
pissed
have
off. I would
right.
be
We have
pissed.
to always look at the other person. That's why I always say when I have an arguments, for instance, I always after the storm calms down, I look at the part that I played, and that determines my apology because I don't. You got to put yourself in that other person's shoes, and I think at that point, that's what the sister has to do because anything other than that, the sister's being selfish, and I probably have to write an anonymous letter.
Yeah.
Have you seen some strange pills in the cabinet?
Yeah.
Not the strange pills.
Yeah, that's how. Yeah,
He did not
Yeah,
say
it
the
might.
strange pills. They look like ibuprofen big time over
Right.
there. And then what? Oh shoot.
And
Yeah.
I'm trying to add some levity to it, but that's serious. Maybe
Yeah.
you don't have to outright say it, but somehow indirectly figure out how to. Because yeah, that's serious. That's serious.
Yeah. No, I mean, and if you don't tell, if you don't tell, the repercussions, like David Haslett said, you're going to be facing some of those repercussions. Like, man, how come you didn't tell me?
Yeah, she
You,
gonna
you,
blame
you I'm gonna blame somebody. You knew. Why didn't you say
the
something
whole
to me? Like,
family.
come on, man.
or worst case scenario, you go into this person's graveside. It's like, man, I just wish I had said something. If I had said
Yeah.
something, you see what I'm saying? Now you got to deal with that guilt because sometimes people's mental health issues could take the next person out because they can't control it. Like you said, they stop taking medicine or whatever the case is. A trigger got hit, and now it's like, who is this person? I don't even know what's going on with you. And everybody looking like, oh, you didn't know? No, I didn't because didn't nobody tell me.
Right.
Yeah. That's why I said the sister needs to look at her potential mate and what that would look like if she does miss some days, a day, or however it affects her. Yeah, that's serious.
It takes 2 weeks for it to adapt. Medication takes 2 weeks at minimum to adapt into your system and
Hmm.
2 weeks to come out. So when you miss a day, it impacts you severely. And I've been
See.
tasked, her and her family have asked me to tell him anonymously. And I'm like, I
Yeah, see,
can't.
that's what
Like,
I'm saying.
I don't care
You
what
want me to write the letter?
so
So
it's just a tough
It
situation.
goes in the hippo right there.
Yeah. That's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
forgive
know
me for my
exactly. But
They shouldn't put you in it.
Oh
they
yeah, yeah,
know I'm
yeah.
not saying anything, but I'm trying to give her ways and thoughts about like how they can approach it because the wedding is approaching now, and they want to have a child within a year. And I'm like, some of mental health does pass on, and it could or it may not, just like traits. But it's a really tough position to be in. And I told her I just more morally and ethically I wouldn't, and I can't because we take an oath. But
Right.
it's just very interesting when brought up this topic. I was like, oh my gosh, I see so much all the time, but also I'm in this predicament. So I appreciate you guys' thoughts.
And
can
it
I
is
ask
a
a question?
50-50 chance. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
It is a 50 because if you tell them and she's forthright of how she takes or she's diligent taking the medicine, she whatever precautions to avoid any triggers,
Right.
that could put him at ease. Or
And he
I
can become
mean,
a stronger support system. Like if
exactly.
he
So
knows, he can support it and make sure he's taking
exactly.
it.
Right.
Yeah. Because if he
Al-
don't know, yeah, it's gonna be all bad.
right.
It's gonna be
Allow
all
me
bad.
to ask this because call me dumb dumb, I guess. 2 weeks to get into your system, 2 weeks to get out of your system. But if I miss one day, that greatly impacts
Mhm.
everything. Explain that to me,
So
please.
it depends on. So one of the things that happens with mental health, which is I'm sure everyone on this video has seen, when you
Kanye.
bipolar, schizophrenia disorder, or you're clinically diagnosed, you usually have a disorder that follows it, right? And so with that, they have to adjust your meds. So one of the problems that we see within the Department of Children and Family Services and our caseloads is that our clients, let's say they start you out at 10 milligrams, right? 10 milligrams might be high for me, but that might not be high for you. So within 30 days, after 30 days, they'll require you to come back and you have to tell them how you feel, what it makes you feel like, what it does, right? So that's the start of it. What happens that we find is that, so I'll go through a couple of things. A lot of our clients stop taking medication when they feel better. And so they've done studies and they've done casework, and we have to report in on what we see and hear. And I'm actually writing court reports right now. We have to write up their behaviors. And so I immediately know when I get into a client's house if they took their meds. I can choom, 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 I can see it. So it takes about 2 weeks to go into your system. Usually if they don't take it for one day, you start to see, like when they're sitting down talking to me and I'm doing a session, their hands start moving. They start fidgeting. It's very mild, but I can see it. If they're schizophrenic and they're hearing voices, they start turning, they start looking. They won't do it as harsh and as jerky as they normally would with 2 weeks of it coming out of your system. But one day can make an entire difference if you don't take your meds.
Hmm. Man, man.
So like with Kanye West.
Oh, he is clinically diagnosed. We are actually on their family case. A lot of us have opted out, but yeah, he is clinically diagnosed and he does not take it.
And he didn't he say that on one of those? It was an interview or something. He was like,
Mm-hmm.
"I ain't taking nothing. Y'all tell my wife to come." It was a lot of crazy. That was when he went like to the hospital, and he said he was like, I'm not taking it. I'm not." And that goes into what you were saying.
Mm-hmm. Which is why he doesn't get visitation unmonitored. His visits are monitored because he doesn't want to take his med. So you have to take your medication and be med compliant, and we can tell based on your behavior, and your erraticness and because if we've been with you for so long, you see the pattern and you see the traits and you see their behavior. You just can tell. But yeah, a lot of
And in
people.
case,
Mhm,
and in those cases, when people know and they have children, somebody might have mentioned it earlier.
mhm,
Like when you know, then you can do forget what it's called, but it's like a DNA test before you even have children, because some of those traits can show up.
mhm,
Um, like when my son he has he has nocturnal prefrontal epilepsy.
mhm,
Um, and he's on medication for it now, but the doctor said, and when he gets older, when he becomes an adult, and if he finds a partner, fiance that he's really serious about, he may want to do that test just so they know in advance, because then they get to make the decision. It's okay to have kids, but we know that there's chances, and we can get medication early. Like we
mhm,
just got medication in freaking high school. And this has been happening since third grade, but that is going to be helpful. So people that know their situation, for example, someone mentioned Kai West, when he knew all along. But
mhm,
when he got married, I think there's this responsibility that should happen, but people don't have happen, and they end up having kids. And somebody said it earlier, like how do these traits descend into the children?
mhm.
And then as they become young adults or even in school, they start to experience some of these things, and then they wonder why.
Hmm. Man.
I think I've said it before. I had my daughter via IVF, and your screen name is 3. I did all of the genetic testing for my embryo. And so I was able to do the same thing. There is genetic testing that you can find out way ahead of time. And hospitals and doctors' offices will offer you information, support groups ahead of time or to start on a path. And some things are age driven, some things are, it depends on what you test for. And so I think it's important, and I don't think a lot of people know. It was something that we opted to do, and so because I'm older, I got my daughter's very young, I want to know way ahead of time. And I think it's important. I think it's important that we discuss it. I think it's beyond important that we discuss mental health, because it does. And I tell people too, it doesn't have to be your past, your ancestors or your grandparents. It can start within your household. You guys can be the first one to have it. It doesn't necessarily mean that it didn't exist. It just didn't, you know, become prevalent. So I just think it's something that we should continue to talk about, and it is super important. I commend you as a mom for doing it. So
Yeah, I'm definitely looking for, and that might be a whole nother show. I'm looking for a blog and a group, and because we diagnosed, not just diagnosed in high school, but all those years in third grade, we thought it was something else. We thought it was heart palpitations, and had doctor and medical things advanced. They may not have known then what kind of tests to do. And so, yeah, I'm looking to be an advocate for a group of parents that they're in the same situation I was. They're getting all these tests done, and all you need is one test and it'll determine it. So yeah, you got to be an advocate. Once you find out these things, it's really important to be an advocate. And even for mental health, once you find out that your mental health, I'm always hopeful that people become more transparent to say, like, okay, that's me. How do I get support? What groups do I talk to? How do I make sure I'm on the right medication? But we're in our community, I think it's hard for us. We don't want to take ownership of that because we don't want to be judged. We don't want people to look at us differently. Yeah.
And one of the things that we hear within the department and within the work we do, is that my family's going to say I'm crazy. My family's going to laugh at me. My family's not going to want me to be around. And if I have a bad day, they're going to always say it has to do with my mental health. And it may not necessarily. I'm just having a normal bad day. And so it's very, very taboo, and especially the African American community is so taboo. They just are afraid. And when we do get families that are support, we create a support list, and I create spreadsheets, and I cut out numbers and put them in their wallets so that if something happens to them on the streets, people know hopefully to go in there and like check. And so we build a support tree. We call it a support tree, and try to help them. And I want to say maybe since I've been doing this, I've been at this agency 12 years. I've probably had over 1,000 cases. And I want to say a lot, probably more than 60%, like it's mental health. And I do my best. I'm one person though, and I love what I do, but there's a lot of people out there that don't, and they hinder the growth and the knowledge of that person. So I just think it's really, really important. Like I said, I appreciate O for bringing it up because it is hard. So.
Hey, we appreciate you, Jay, for being here, man, and sharing some of this information that we never ever would have gotten. So thank you. Buki, I see you, man. Thank you, Cuzzo, for being here, man. That's what's up. Appreciate you. Man, you guys, this turned out deeper than what I really thought we was gonna be, kind of doing, but I'm baffled still at the 70% incest. 70%. 70%. That's not 50%. That's not half. That's more. That's damn near
3/4.
Damn near. That's crazy. That's crazy. But I think that the whole family secret thing, man, it exists. It's still out there. Some of us are products of it, and that's the heartbreaking part. We are products of it, yet and still we hold on to it. Know when to hold them, know when to fold them. We don't say nothing. We just say, forget about it. We're going to just let it go on and go on and go on and go on. And then guess what? It's the trickle down effect. It affects others right within our family circle directly, which is crazy. PK says we have to work to erase the stigma, excuse me, on a lot in our community: mental health, HIV, and AIDS, keeping bad secrets. We got so much healing to do. Exactly. Thank you, PK. I'm gonna give that to you. We definitely have a lot to heal, but we gotta want to heal.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of us don't want to heal. A lot of us want to simply act like
It don't exist.
it ain't there. I'm good. Everything's all right over here. We good. Kind of like what we were talking about last week. We teased Miss Day already this week about go get tested in the whole 9 yards. Some of us know that deep down inside, we burning,
Oh,
we
wow.
itching,
Wow.
we scratching. You know what I mean? We know what's going on with us, but we not saying anything because how we feel as an individual. I don't want to. So it's going to affect the next person if you don't say something. I'm not going to tell on Uncle Ruckus over there that he over there doing what he do to all of the kids. It started off with just one. Next thing you know, he done went through the whole family circle or the whole family tree doing what he did. Do we really just sit there and ignore it? Or do we
Uncle
say
Ruckus
something
gonna come
about
up
it?
missing.
He should.
Now,
He should.
there are times where it's like, hey, don't tell cousin Willie about this. Everybody in the family know about it, but if you tell him, he gonna put him in the ground. And so they might be trying to keep that relative out of trouble because they know how he gonna act. He is gonna be zero understanding. So
Well,
that's
Uncle
another
Ruckus
reason I
deserves to be in
think
the
maybe
ground.
them family secrets be happening. We got to make sure we don't tell such because she gonna tell him, and if she tell him, once he finds out, it's gonna be all bad. And now everybody's business is gonna be out in the street, and of course it's a secret, so we don't want nobody to know our family dirt.
And somebody mentioned the 1900s earlier. Like, I wonder if a lot of the incest and those things happen more in the South, um, coming out of slavery and, that whole thing, if there was a lot more of that happening then more in the South than anything, the kissing cousin kind of syndrome.
Well, I'll say this from the South. I mean, from the slavery days, a lot of us didn't know. You
Hmm.
getting snatched up and getting shipped off over here and shipped off over there. You wasn't supposed to ever cross paths again. So just think about it. You think about your own family. I got family in Mississippi, Louisiana. Um, I got family in the Carolinas. There's family all over the place. But how many of those do you actually have contact with to even know? Because those last names change real quick.
Uh-huh.
I'm a Thomas, but there's also other family members with different last names than Thomas. Man, she sure is fine. Ooh, boy, that's your cousin. Ooh,
Look, first cousin.
ooh, where?
Yeah,
No,
it's your first
that
cousin. Go in there and sit
that
down.
could happen real fast, especially for our family. I know my family from the South, who the younger generations want to migrate away from the South. So they come to the fast city, and guess what? They don't know who they meeting. They don't know if that's their cousin, first, second, third, down the line, whatever, related by marriage, related by blood, however, they don't know. We don't know. What she said? What?
Listen, The funny, so to break the ice, my real father is from the South, and about a year and a half ago, I get a message on Facebook from
He
a young,
your father cousin.
huh?
I said he your father cousin.
No,
Oh,
thank God. But I get this random message that this person matched my aunt's DNA on ancestry.com.
There you go.
And I called her and I was like, "Did you do that?" And she's like, "Oh, yeah, I didn't tell you." I was like, "No." And it's one of my father's daughters. And so we recently did our own DNA test because it was my nephew and my aunt. So I did one with my sister. But my dad has 7 kids by 6 women, and it's probably still counting. And now that we're on Ancestry, or my family is, I'm scared. Like, I don't want to know anymore. And I'm too old now. But then I also want to, make sure. So it's just, technology has changed. And so it's just really interesting. And there's days I do want to know, and there's days I don't want to know. There's an eighth potential. And oh God,
That just opens up a whole nother can of worms right there.
Yeah.
Because, okay, got it. Papa was a Rolling Stone. Wherever he laid his hat was his home. Got it.
it wasn't his hat.
But
wherever he laid that, what's Dev Dude's website? What's Dev Dude's website? Wherever he laid his
Dang-a-line.
Listen,
I think it's safe to say that all the daddies on this here panel seem to have been in the same situation.
They all was doing the same thing.
They went to the same school.
They all was doing the same thing. I felt like I was doing the same thing. It's secrets. It's more secrets. Papa was a Rolling Stone, but guess what? So was Mama. Because Mama was doing what Mama was doing, because you thought that was Uncle Junior, but that ain't really Uncle Junior. That was really your daddy. You just didn't know that was your daddy. What?
That's Mr. Henry Earl Jr. His dad was named Henry Earl. That's why
Earl
Jr.
That part. So what? I'm almost like Jay said. I don't want to know all of that extra, because I don't need to know my daddy deep dark secrets and how many siblings do I really got. I don't think I really need to know that right now. I'm gonna just stay away from that.
Well, when my grandfather died, my mom's dad, there was I don't know if it's 1 or 2.
What's up, baby girl? I see you. She said, "Dang."
And my mom was not happy, but I told my mom, I said, "Mom, they ain't got nothing to do with you, though. I mean, now you know." But she was mad at her dad. He dead now. The wages sin pays is death. He done paid for all his sins by dying. You ain't got to be this boy friend. So biologically he related to you, but you don't owe him nothing, and he don't owe you nothing. It's a decision that your dad made.
Right. Yeah. And then you have that choice, us. Jay got extra siblings that she ain't even know she had. So now she got to make a choice. Do I embrace this person?
Right. Exactly what I told my mom. Yeah.
I one of my brothers called me up today and said, at first he asked me, what are you guys talking about? And I said, "Are we going to talk about family secrets?" He was like, "Man, I don't know nothing about no family secrets. I don't know nothing about no family secrets." I said, "Okay, all right, it's all good." I promise you, 30 minutes later, he called me back and said, "You'll never guess what I just found out." What? What you find out? At 60 years of age, I got another brother. I'm not interested in finding out, because I was talking to one of my actual siblings and found out, well, that we got. He was like, I don't want to know now. I'm 60 years old. I don't want nothing to do with that. But that's what's out there right now. That's what's happening. We got families.
It's not even the older generation. My ex-husband had a kid with his ex-wife who ended up being his brother's kid. And it took, his brother got shot and killed, and it took and named him a junior. And it took, when his brother was killed, then the ex-wife said he had 5 kids by 5 different women already. And the ex-wife said, "Oh no, this one's his too." and they did a DNA. I mean, because it was right after they did a DNA and found out that it was the brother's child. Yeah. So, and he was a junior to my husband. So, I mean, how do you deal with that? All the kids, finding out that their cousin isn't really their cousin, it's their brother, and it just caused so much.
Wow.
My ex-husband couldn't mourn for his brother because he's so angry. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It was a big, huge mess, but that's, and my kids knew this boy as a stepbrother, half brother, whatever, as a brother, and it's their cousin, just mess. So
That's why I said earlier, if your daughter, if you got with a lady prior to whoever you with now, and the kids grow up and maybe they are the same Irish twins and near in age, and then they hook up, but they never know because she never said anything. How would you know? You just don't know.
I'm looking at Adrian's comment here, which is very interesting. Interracial dating can also reduce the chances of blood-related issues.
How so?
That's not true. If the master was up in that house, and then he got other.
We can go back further than that. I met a guy that was from England who did not look like me. We had the exact same last name. The exact same last name, and I don't have a common last name. So we started talking. I'm like, okay, so you have some people over here in the United States in that area. So do I. So that doesn't necessarily mean just because you do that your chance is slim now for that happening, because that might be exactly what ends up happening.
Right. Oh, that's your brother cousin too, right there. Right, you already know. He's like, wait, what?
It could happen. Either way, it could happen.
And then you have people like me. I'm adopted, so I am adopted from another country, but I've done my ancestry DNA, but I know nothing about any relatives that, I mean, it's not likely I'd run into one, but still there are some people like that don't know.
So somewhere out there is an agua with the fuego.
Yep.
Water and fire. Like what? Yeah. But the chances are real. What's the chances of going somewhere far country and somebody call out your name?
You do it all the time.
Look, when you go out, if you go somewhere you don't live and you ain't never just been there a whole lot, and somebody call your name, be like, "Oh, what's up?" And I'm like, "How you know them?" Man, don't even worry about it. I'll tell you.
Don't worry about it, sweetheart. Don't worry about it.
What's up?
That part right there.
I mean, I really knew the guy. And the people he was with, I'm like, that's weird, because
where Miss Day at? Is she checking ChristianMingle.com or something right now?
I'm sorry, what?
She gone.
She left. What happened?
She left.
Oh, okay.
Wishing her well. Hope Miss Day come back through.
Come on back.
Yeah,
that's interesting, Adrian. But if you start doing your homework in your history and your family,
right,
boy, you're gonna find out some stuff. Boy, you're gonna be like, oh, that's my Like I got an auntie. Although she was married to my uncle by way of the military and the whole 9 yards, but I got a Korean auntie, Sung-ja Thompson.
Oh. Somebody said StreamYard is not letting me back in. Oh, Miss Day, I think. Is her last name Williams?
Yeah. It ain't letting her back in.
It's not letting her back in.
Why wouldn't it? Hit the link, Mama. Hit the link.
Yeah.
It did that to me when I first logged in too. It logged me right back out.
Interesting.
Look, everybody can't use the same.
It did.
I'm late too because it was a traffic jam.
Sean says, anytime I heard someone with my last name, I knew we related because my name is not a common name. I hear my name and say, "Oh, you a cousin, brother, or something." Yeah.
Be like,
and see, okay, so here go mine. My last name is Thomas. However, for all y'all on the YouTube world, maybe you might be related to me, but my grandfather's last name was Bullard. 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 I have no clue about that part of the family. None. Zero. Nada. Other than what my dad has said, Bullard. That's it. I ain't never met nobody. I don't know nobody. I don't know. Now, when I see the name, I'll be going, I wonder if that could be any relations to me. But I'm not about to do the uh, what is it? Searching for,
Yeah.
right?
But
There you go. Uh-oh. Look, even my baby girl says Deja, which is my niece, found out our second cousin on what? On 23
23
and
and
me.
me. It's a DNA
Okay.
site.
It's like
Oh,
Yeah.
see,
Yeah.
I
It's like
didn't
ancestry.com.
even know.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically they found a cousin
Mhm.
on 23 and me. Didn't know that he actually existed.
Mhm.
That's
Mhm.
crazy how that goes.
And the DNA kits be like buy one get one free twice a year. So you can run your DNA and anybody can get their own kit and it will match to your family.
Yeah.
You find out a whole lot.
Oh, you do.
Toots, that's my skate P right there, y'all. My skate partner. She says, "What about the documentary called Our Father?" I believe. He was a fertility doctor who impregnated
Yeah, I heard
hundreds,
about that.
possibly
This
thousands of
dude
his
was
patients with
wilding.
his
Oh
sperm
my
and
god.
never told any
Yeah.
of them.
I never
Yeah.
watched it, but I
And
saw the
was not sorry.
no, he
He was not sorry.
he had a mission.
Yeah.
Wow, 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 wow,
He
wow.
was
He
nasty.
thought his name was
Yeah.
Abraham.
Well, stay here, Miss Day, and you can comment in the
Say,
box.
wait,
Sorry, you
wait,
can't.
Miss Day, check your Facebook inbox. Check your Facebook inbox. I just sent you a fresh link.
The group.
23 and me was a trip. Man, I didn't even know about that. Thank you, baby girl, for sharing that. That's what's up.
I gotta go, everybody. Welcome, Miss
Okay,
J. Welcome back, shall I say?
right.
And
Any
yeah, this
any
was a good
final
topic.
words?
Type
It
these
went by
court
fast.
notes. I'd be on here all the time, but I'd be having to type these court notes and submit them. So try to free
Hey,
my
handle your business.
Any final words, Snoopy Cliff Mello?
Not,
Oh,
or
Oh
not
man, yeah.
to expose a secret. I mean, like I said, that's gonna take a huddle who's all involved, and then you got to do what's best for you and the family in the long run.
right.
But yeah, it's a difficult decision.
Thank you, man.
And but
Thank you
I'm
for your
wishing
time, bro.
everybody healing energy. May you find the reason and just live your best self.
That's what's up. Snoopy Cliff Mello,
Love you
y'all.
guys. Love you.
All
Love
right.
you.
Bye.
Highlight if you can go up and highlight Tamara's
Tamara, gotcha.
Alexander.
Only if she promises she can give me that TikTok dance.
Oh man, everybody
Tamara says, my mama made it her business to get our family together yearly so we would know who we were related to,
Yeah.
so we could meet our cousins, so you wouldn't accidentally be dating each other. Hell, Devin almost a cousin. No, seriously, my mom is good friends with my family.
Yeah.
you see all them
Oh,
folks together, you think they
no,
they
seriously.
completely
His
related.
mom, excuse me. His mom is good friends with my family. Yeah, but okay, so
I saw in a comment above, when you live when you're staying in the same communities and stuff, that it's pretty much inevitable. And the
right,
way families are now, where they don't get together like they used to, like the young ones don't know their cousins, first cousin, second, you know what I mean? They don't know family like we used to all get together. So I think it's, it's
right. It's but here,
Oh,
here,
and go ahead.
PK. Go,
And then make
let me
sure you
just finish
highlight
this thought.
PK after you make this point.
Okay. At 54 years of age, to the best of my knowledge, I've never been to a family reunion. In the last 5 years, I've been hanging with my cousin Angie, cousin Rhonda, which is on my dad's side. This is where my, going to Atlanta, um, Oakdale, Louisiana, hanging with my family on my dad's side, I wouldn't have had any clue about anybody. My cousin Bukhari, which is my uncle, my dad's brother, that's the baby boy. You know, there's just small pieces of the family puzzle that I know, but we've never had a family reunion that I know of for me to go and meet all my cousins and them. I'm learning at this late date. I'm sharing that information with my own daughter. Like, I want you to meet these people. There's people that she haven't even met on my mom's side. All my folks in Tylertown, Mississippi. She don't know none of them, but I need them to know her. I need her to know them. But it becomes a challenge for all of us. I wish we did have it like Tamara just described for her family. But once everybody starts spreading out into the different parts of the globe, it becomes more of a challenge. How do I get to know all my family?
So I think that you can start with so one of the things that I've done, and I've made it's been happening for the last 6 months. My local LA cousins, because we're all busy with lives and we're working, we do a cousin lunch quarterly. So we pick a restaurant. I send it out to everybody. I get the RSVPs back. I make and then we just get to talk and hang out. And it's about 20 of us, right? And then for next year, us 20 are working on right now, sending out something to have a bigger group come together for the younger ones, a family reunion. We are predominantly on the East Coast and Central America, and it'll give everyone ample time to make payments, join us on this trip so that we can get to know each other. And it is a family reunion. But it took me and my cousin here, one of my cousins here, saying, like, how do we get this started again? Because my aunts and uncles that have died off, they were the ones that did the reunions. So I wanted to be more present this year in my family dynamic. And it's one of my goals is to be more present. And so I started a spreadsheet and I'm creating little things and events. And it's a lot of work, but the smile on my daughter's face, on my family's, the younger kids' faces, getting to know more cousins. I just think we have to try as much work as it can be, try to bring it back. And so that we can get to know our family and we don't have these secrets, and you never know the impact or support that you could be to somebody else. You might click with a niece or a nephew that doesn't know you, or a cousin that doesn't know you, or whatever the case may be, and you could be a support to them. So I just think, we just have to start somewhere. And that's, going back to reunions, and, everybody won't be able to make it, but at least putting it out there that, it exists and we can. And I'm not going to do it every year. I'm going to do it every 2 years as long as God spares me life. But I'm doing it because my daughter I'm older and I want her to know her family. Right. So for health reasons, not just because of the secrets, but for so many other reasons. She might meet somebody in our family that can accelerate her career when she gets older. You never know what it could lead to. So I just think we have to try and start somewhere. Mm-hmm. So just an idea.
My family does every second Sunday a family Zoom meeting where whoever is available that Sunday can log in whatever time and people conversate. There's probably about 5 generations or 4 probably that come on and off of there. So that's a good way to stay connected.
So my skate partner, D Toots, aka Dion, says, family secrets. I'm a halfcock. That is not a common name, but there are so many of us. My family has been here since America was started. Our name changed over time from Heathcock to now. I have both Caucasian and colored. So we forgive me, y'all, for saying this, but we all mutts. We are. We got some of everything in us because I too have Caucasian in my family, as we all do. If you go through the history database banks and do your homework and research about your family. But I like this right here. David says, let's just face it, family isn't family like it used to be, especially if the matriarch of the family is deceased. So you, and all of y'all on the other side of my screen, you have a responsibility at this point. If you want that responsibility, you want to learn about your family, you want to be a part of your family, you want to share your family with your children, your offspring, so on and so forth. You got to take a aggressive approach, maybe a proactive approach to finding out more about your family as best as you can, if that's what you truly really want to do. Because when you open up the door to some of these sites, 23andMe or whatever that was, and all the other ones where you are going back and you're finding people who you are compatible with being family, you're just really opening up the door to find out the flaws of certain family members in your family. If you're not prepared for that, then don't go snooping and looking, because you're going to get them answers. Who's related and who's not. Hell, I might be related to the dude Devin. I don't know.
We probably can. We probably can.
Right?
That's how I usually go. Oh, we probably can.
Right? That part right there, man. That part right there. So I don't know. It definitely
it comes full circle. I think like you were saying, like family is long run, family is family, but it comes full circle. And this is the honest God truth because of my last name. Ironically, someone that lives across the street used to live across the street from my sister. She worked with someone with my same last name. And we start connecting the dots. And since then, we have welcomed her. And it was from my dad's side. We both had the same grandfather or uncle. And it was such a small world that she worked the same place as the neighbor and has our same last name. And it was such a.
So y'all cousins, you didn't even know it. I had been knowing for like 2 or 3 years, and the whole time we were blood relatives, and we didn't even know it because he was from the same part. He was from the same area where my mom grew up. That's where he grew up.
Wow.
Yep. So I was just like, how we get here?
You guys, I'm gonna say this. Let's get those likes up. Thank you for your comments. Please be sure to subscribe to the channel. Gman After Dark. These are the types of topics that we are going to continue to talk about. The real life stuff, not the pre-scripted fake stuff that's happening out there. It ain't just about twerking. This is the real life stuff that we are dealing with and faced with. Excuse me. In the end, I got this comment highlighted. It says we all mixed up. Absolutely. I'm going to end this episode number 2 like this, the way I started it. With all family secrets, excuse me, with all family secrets, there is some level of destruction. We have an obligation to heal. We have an obligation to fix the destruction. Definitely, we don't want to ignore the issues that are surrounding our families. If you can fix them, fix them. If you can't fix them completely, at least try. Bring something to the table. To those of us who are mature enough, intelligent enough, resourceful enough to, hey, I like that right there. Yeah. Resourceful enough to break the curse. Family reunions are a dying art. And I said dying. I'm trying to give a little bit of life to it. Some of us are still holding on. Find a way to bring your family together, to do some things together, so that at least you get to know, your child gets to know, your children gets to know some of their relatives that are here, there, and everywhere. Because they ain't all just in the local area that you live in. They are spanning the globe. Yep. So, without further ado, I want to say thank you guys from the desert to the sea. To all those cities in between, thank you guys for being here. This episode is over.
Good
Good night,
night.
y'all. Good night.
Good night.